Hello, I'm Jason Wilber, and you're listening to In Search of a Song. In each episode, we explore the stories behind the songs, through conversations with and performances by the artists who bring your favorite songs to life.
Hey, my name is Rich Reardon. I'm with In Search of a Song here at the Chicago Bluegrass and Blues Festival. And with my great pleasure to talk to you guys.
Thank you for having us, Rich.
No problem. I know you just played in my hometown for 2 nights, so we were just talking about that, and that went real well.
Sure enough, Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah. Let me just start out by having you introduce yourselves.
Absolutely. I'm Scott Avett from the Avett Brothers. In the live show, I play banjo and sing, and play the kick drum as well, primarily, and then try other things when they're needed.
And I'm Seth Avett. I play guitar and sing, and ditto.
Well, let me start from the very beginning. I like to talk about songwriting. So, what's your first or earliest musical memory?
Like when we were little kids.
First thing you can remember. That's a little hard sometimes.
Well, we have tapes. Our father used one of those old tape recorders, cassette tapes, and he would record us talking and singing. We have tapes of Seth, 3 years old, writing songs based on. We had some chickens, and there's a song about cats. About the cats.
In fact, we have a record called A Carolina Jubilee, and the hidden track is one of these tapes, and it's from '85, I think.
So you would have been.
So I'd have been 4 or 5, and I sing a song about if I were a kitten, I'd play outside, which was a stroke of genius, I feel like, for a young songwriter.
I quickly mocked it by replacing kitten with chickens.
And mocked me, which set up kind of how it would be for the next 20, 30 years. And I don't even know if I have a memory of that, but there's a recording of it. But, I mean, Dad always played guitar and sang for us, and so certainly right there from the beginning, before we were even able to form memories, I would say.
And you know how, as we all grow older, we kind of focus on different records or different artists at different periods of time. Like, you might all of a sudden get into Townes Van Zandt. So for me, for 8 months, I'll listen to Townes Van Zandt.
Right.
I say, I'll listen to it, and I'll pick somebody else. I can't even let anything else in. I think that started early with us. My father had an 8-track tape or a recorder player, and there was some Three Dog Night, John Denver, some Bob Dylan, possibly Harvest Moon, and then some of his recordings. And those recordings,
Harvest Moon was the new
recordings just went over and over and over all the time. And so those were branded into our. It wasn't bluegrass. We really didn't come from that sort of scene until later, until we discovered that it was around us.
When did you start getting interested in playing an instrument?
Immediately.
So at 3?
As soon as I can remember. I remember wanting to play guitar, and our grandmother was a pianist. It's sort of a back history on this. And our father said, look, if you want to play guitar, if that's the ultimate dream, if you want to be a rock star or whatever you want to be, you have to learn piano first, because that's the basis of...
Piano lessons were mandatory for all 3 of us. We have an older sister as well. So,
and then we could learn whatever else we wanted.
Great.
Yeah.
So you both read music then?
At one time.
At some time?
I'm rustier. I'm much rustier than I was.
One at a time.
That's the way I read it.
Yeah, I can read a page of music. It'll take me about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'll get there.
We utilize the piano in recording quite a bit, and we utilize it in writing a lot, way more than the banjo or the guitar when we're at home, because it's there and you can kind of break away from the the G. I sit down on the banjo and just usually it's an off. It's that G, and then with the guitar you might do the same thing or go to the E. The piano you kind of go everywhere. So that's really good for writing melodies.
So you started basically on piano. You weren't playing guitar at the same time or anything like that?
No, started piano.
When did you start playing your current instruments?
I started playing the banjo 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago. We both played guitar since we were
11.
Yeah, 11 or 12. I'm 32, so that's 28. So
when did you start writing your own stuff?
Immediately as well. Yeah, sure. It really terrible stuff. Really terrible stuff. On up until like yesterday.
I mean, it's questionable whether we've really gotten out of that realm yet.
Now, do you still play them?
Oh God, no. God, no.
There's some really bad stuff out there.
Yeah, but that's part of the process. You got to write a whole bunch of bad ones before you can write one that might be average.
Well, an interesting dynamic would be that you're brothers. So, songwriting, do you both contribute the same amount, or one person do more? How do you go about your songwriting?
We do contribute almost right down the middle, and I think silently we kind of dictate it that way. We kind of keep it that way. I know I feel better that way. I feel like Seth does. Like if we feel a song coming on quick, that is you're feeling like this is really something special. It's come in the middle of the night, and you feel like it's moving rapid. A lot of times we'll call each other and say, "I got to get you in on this one. You got to put a verse." So it's not just. He doesn't just come and say, "Okay, this is my masterpiece, and you boys just back me up and follow me." And I think we keep each other in check that way.
Yeah, because how boring.
It makes it's much less fun.
Sometimes it's unfortunate they'll come fast, and then there's no other way. And that's right. I've written a whole one, or Scott's written a whole one. And it's like, all right, well, let's see what we can do to bring some color to it as much as we can. But if we can make them at least relatively.
Group effort
to write them together, then we do.
Do you guys feel like, because you're brothers and you shared so much in your life, when you're playing together, do you feel that extra oomph that just goes over the top? You know what I mean?
I'd say nightly.
So much that we've almost expected it. I think sometimes we do it without looking at each other, and it's almost like this comfort in saying, I know he's got his part covered and I've got mine covered, so you can just kind of even be set free. You're just doing it. You're not checking like, what's he doing over there?
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's funny. We've played now we're coming up on 7, 8 years, and we don't watch ourselves. We don't we don't like make it a point to watch what we do, review what we do, like on videos or anything like that. And it's funny. We talked about last night. We were in Bloomington, and from the stage, there is a bar off to the right. Kind of at the back of the room, and like a mirror behind it. And I realized a lot of the time I would just kind of just notice myself looking in the mirror, not at all of us, but you could only see just the guitar and just the banjo, really, so just our hands. And I was just kind of mesmerized about how exactly in rhythm that Scott and I are. Like I've never really thought about it. I never looked over to see what he was doing really, like in that realm. And it was just very. Exactly, we were doing the exact same thing with our strumming hands, exactly all the time, which was just bizarre to me because I didn't think it would be like that. Because it's pretty rough around the edges. I mean, it's not we don't put a lot of time into exacting our rhythm or anything like that, which maybe has been one of the issues. But we
holding us down.
But there's definitely something there being brothers that rhythmically at least apparently. I mean, it's something that I didn't realize as much until last night, which was weird. Anyway.
I'm dying to hear you guys play one, so would you mind doing that?
We would
start
love
us
to.
off.
We'd be honored to. And kind of relevance to this song, I was thinking about it the other day. They're getting ready to wipe out a lot of land near our house, and this song didn't really have anything to do with that. At first, it was more of a metaphorical thing, but I was thinking about the prediction thing that happens sometimes with, I think, all songwriters. I definitely did it when I was younger because I had no audience, and I was singing like I did. I thought I did, and kind of assuming that, but I realized this song after we wrote it kind of accidentally predicted kind of a misfortune with some of the land. But this song is called "Tear Down the House."
And also a point about the sharing of writing in this one. This is one, and this will date this recording that Scott recorded. The idea initially on a mini disc, and it was a couple verses, and I just took the mini disc and listened to it, and then wrote a couple verses. And
Sure.
So it's about half and half. So
it's on the second clean, the latest EP we put out.